Hi, everyone, and welcome to an exciting session of Essar Foundation's TransSchool, a first of its kind e school customized for the transgender community. The theme of today's session is the transgender community's right to dignified livelihood. We have with us a very special guest. She is Sonali Dalvi, a very well known transgender activist who is a TEDx speaker and the lead organizer of Pune's first transgender marathon. We also have with us Ms. Priya Chakravarty, Head of HR Excellence at Essar. Priya spearheads talent deployment across the group, diversity and inclusion, and strategic culture transformation. And to get this discussion going, Priya, I would like to ask you first. SR has been doing some great work for the transgender community upliftment, be it inviting the community members to celebrate festivals with SR employees or conducting upskilling workshops to help transgenders get entry into mainstream workforce. Could you throw some light on these initiatives and its importance?
Sure. Thanks, Aditi, and a quick hello to Sonali. It's just a pleasure to be part of this discussion, and I think really contribute to the fight that torchbearers like Sonali and others are taking forward to ensure that the transgender community get their fair share of recognition and acceptance and equality. See, the very fact that the TT community is, an integral part of the society, I think is a compelling enough reason for SR as an organization to actually drive initiatives and programs. Um, so that one is, they become one of the things that we're looking at is largely in terms of how do you enhance skills to make them more employable, right? How do you ensure that they feel more accepted and included in the at every level of the society? Three is, making sure that they have a platform where they can voice their opinions. So a little bit in terms of the initiative that we've rolled out so far, the Rainbow Project is actually the flagship program of SR Foundation. We have collaborated with many NGOs, we have collaborated with other corporate houses, celebrities, of course, like you, Aditi, who's been an integral part of this transformation journey that we've kind of, embarked upon. So there are a number of initiatives that we've rolled out, and to touch upon a few to give you a sense of what these really look like. Um, so the range, I said, is a flagship program, and under that, I think one of the key things is really how do you drive the sensitization bit in within the organization. And while we've taken some small steps, and I think these are really firm steps that we've taken within the organization, the transgender community and people from the community have been part of the Diwali Flea Bazaar, where they've been able to come and showcase their products, where people have had an opportunity to really interact with them. When I mean opportunity, the SR employees have had an opportunity to interact with them, understand them as individuals, as people who they are, and really had that platform where they can showcase their skills, whether it was henna, whether it was some of the products that they developed. The other thing was the whole job fair that was conducted in Pune. There was a 2-day workshop that was conducted, one to give them a quick view in terms of how do you prepare your resume, how do you attend interviews, what are the questions that are likely to be asked, how are you prepared and equipped to, kind of go into an environment like that. There was also a job fair at the end of the 2-day workshop. So these are some of the initiatives that, and there are many that I can talk about. I think the other important piece was, like I said, our objective being giving them a voice to talk, or a platform where they can voice their opinion. And we have SR Radio, which is, a very key communication platform that we have kind of rolled out within the organization. And I'm just so glad to share that we've had many people from the transgender community who've come and spoken about it. So that also, and this is kind of heard across the globe within SR, where we have about 7,000 employees. That itself, I think, is a good way to sensitize them, understand what transgender identities are,
Yeah.
And I cannot not talk about the fact that one of the key programs has been the TransSchool,
Hmm.
and the objective largely being that we want to ensure that we skill them, we upskill them, we partner with them, or we bring them into mainstream society. And you being part of that program, you've kind of done so many well-being sessions with them. We've also chalked out a good plan in terms of what are the kind of programs that we're going to be rolling out in the next 6 months, which includes programs that have really been, I think, addressed based on the survey that we carried out to understand what they're really seeking and what they're really looking at. So this is I think these are some of the initiatives that we've taken. We have a long way to go, but we're really passionate about supporting and being there with the community. So I'm not going to take too much time, and I know people are really eagerly waiting to hear what Sally has to say. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Aditi, and eager to be part of the discussion and contribute in any which ways.
Thank you so much, Priya, for sharing these thoughts, because I know it has become the need of the hour to, include the whole community and interweave them with the society. A very warm welcome to you, Sonali. Uh,
Yeah,
Sonali, you were
so
once denied. Sorry, go ahead.
it's okay. So I want to introduce myself first. I'm a
Sure.
transgender. I have myself as a transgender. Myself Sonali Dalvi. I work for LGBTQ community rights and transgender rights.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that, Sonali. So you were once denied entry into a city mall because you identify as a trans woman. And you've said in one of your past interviews that transgenders are not trapped in wrong bodies, but are trapped in a society that doesn't
Yeah,
understand them. How difficult has it been for the community to be accepted by the society?
it was not that easy because in my childhood there was no awareness in the society. Only that time only the Doordarshan was there. And whatever my school teacher and my tuition teacher used to teach me, only that much knowledge I had. I don't know about myself. I did never realize I'm different from others. The society realizes I'm different from others. मतलब अगर तुम कितने भी अच्छे हो या कितना भी अच्छा काम कर ले पर कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं कि मतलब उनको उनकी मेंटालिटी उनका माइंडसेट चेंज ही नहीं होता तो
Hmm.
हम नजर का ऑप्शन कर सकते हैं पर नजरिए का नहीं और वो नजरिया ही बदलना चाहिए लोगों का एक ट्रांसजेंडर को देखने की so, see, when I was born, the doctor gave me as a label as a boy, but my mind, my brain, my soul was of a female. How somebody can change my mind and my brain and my soul? So the definition of a transgender is like the person does not match his gender identity which the doctor has given a label. So that
Yeah.
particular person is called as a transgender. So I feel like I'm a woman from my soul, from my heart, and I will always want to be a woman.
Hmm. Right. So,
So
yeah. So, share your journey. Considering the difficulties and the hardships that you went through, how has your journey been? Because I know where your education is concerned or your employment, how did that pan out, and how come you're so committed to helping the community members to become so self-reliant? So, there are two parts to this question.
like the first important thing I always say is like if we want to see the changes in society in people, we should start from our family itself, from our home itself. हमें
Hmm.
अगर समाज में changes करना है तो घर से ही शुरुआत करनी पड़ेगी. So first time it was not that easy to come out to my parents like I'm born this way. So to convince them, it was very difficult task for me. And you know, बचपन में मेरे जो मम्मी पापा मुझे इतना मोटिवेट करते थे लड़के जैसा चल लड़के जैसा बन इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल अगर हम कबर्ड में पानी रखें और उसको बार बार टॉर्चर करें कि तू रेफ्रिजरेटर है तुझे ठंडा होना है तो वो नहीं हो सकता है कबर्ड में पानी भरना नहीं हो सकता सेम वे आई वाज आल्सो लाइक दैट
Hmm.
so I cannot change for someone
Yeah.
and उसके बाद my parents took me to the started giving me the male hormones injections, then to the tantric people and Baba people, all this hard food they did. But I never changed. I'm the way I'm born this way. And to
Hmm.
convince my parents, it was very difficult. And unfortunately, one day my biological mother, she passed away, and I'm the younger one, and I have one small sister. So whatever, being a feminine child, whatever I have faced, I don't want my sister to face it out. So within a month, I told my dad to get remarry again. And then my stepmother came in my life, and she realized me on the first day, like I'm a transgender. And she convinced my dad कि सोनाली जैसी है उसको वैसे ही रखो. What she wants, she just want to enjoy her femininity now. So let her enjoy her femininity. And she gave me the entire freedom. And this is what I want. ये मैं चाहती थी बचपन से कि मेरे मम्मी पापा मुझे एक लड़की की तरह या एक लड़की समझ के ही मुझे एक्सेप्ट करें. And because of my parents' support, I got the best education, and I, I became a completely self-independent woman today.
Absolutely. Yes, you rightly said, Sonali, that it has to start from home. So the parents need to become aware, and once they start the acceptance movement, it will become a lot easier for everybody else to follow lead. Priya, coming to you now, what more can corporates do to eradicate stigma and help them become self-reliant?
Right. I think they can do a lot. And, one is I think we as individuals in the society or as part of an organization, I think one of the fundamental things is to not be judgmental primarily. I think that's the fundamental shift that is required to be more empathetic and understanding to people. One of the things I think it's very basic but really driving sensitization programs across the organization. Just to give you a little bit of an example, when we had the transgender community that was invited over, even for the Women's Day celebration, we had the Dancing Queens. Dancing Queens is a group, that is great talent in terms of dancing prowess. And Essar Foundation actually has helped them in a lot of ways across the city to perform. And we didn't want to miss that opportunity, so we called them for the International Women's Day celebration. And what was so encouraging to see is that the employees wanted to understand a little bit more about the community, what they are, what are the challenges that they face, what concerns. So you can see that there is ignorance, but it's not that there was no access, you know so like Sonali is saying, it's about really also ensuring that people understand that it's a biological process, it's a normal process. And I think many of us really don't understand that. And I think that within corporates, fundamentally, that's one of the things that they really need to look forward, we take it forward. Then it's just building the entire ecosystem in the organization, whether it is looking at your process, looking at your policies, whether you're looking at infrastructure, whether we have the third restrooms that are dedicated to the third gender, whether it's in terms of the policies itself. How do you build support groups within the organization so that people are willing to come out, they're willing to open up, they have a place where they feel comfortable talking about, and a culture that kind of accepts them, and actually I think organizations should really work towards bringing in more people into the system. And I'm happy to share that we've started the process of where we want to bring in more transgenders into the organization. We've interviewed, we've met people, so that's a very positive thing. And not just within the organization, I think really going to partnering with schools, for example, right? It really starts at that level of where people start to identify their own gender and being more comfortable in their own gender and skin. So how do you partner with schools to bring that sensitization, in these at that very young age? Collaborate with other NGOs, other corporate organizations. So I think there is a lot of responsibility and onus that corporates need to take to really bring them into the mainstream.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Sonali, you've been very vocal about upholding the community's rights for years now. You've been the general secretary of a political party, along with being on the Transgender Welfare Board of Maharashtra State. Tell us about these various sensitization initiatives you have spearheaded and the progress you've made so far.
Can you repeat the
Sonali,
question again? Because I have some, yeah,
Net-
network issues.
Sure, sure. No, I said that you've been very vocal about, the community rights for years. And you've also been the general secretary of a political party. You've been on the Transgender Welfare Board of Maharashtra state. So tell us about these various sensitization initiatives you have spearheaded and what is the progress that has been made so far.
So, like, whenever I used to go with the transgender community for job opportunity, many times we have been denied it from the basic rights. So, many people used to tell me, no, Sonali, we cannot give them a work or jobs because they are very dangerous. They clam and what they do. So, I said, a man can be a terrorist, a woman can be a terrorist. Show me the one transgender in the world who is a terrorist. And who does the rape? Third gender? This comes from the first and the second gender itself. So who is dangerous, you or me? Does the work matter for a people or a gender matter for a people? I think uh, the most important thing is like work. So why people care about who is she or who is people started judging on someone's dressing, someone's look. So this is so we when we live in the constitution of freedom where we have the rights to express our feelings.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
So
so
so for the
where does
Maharashtra Transgender Welfare Board.
hmm. Sorry, Sonali, and what has the progress since the time you started to where you've reached now? What is the change that you have seen?
Sorry, I can't hear properly.
Uh, no, I'm saying that, since the time you began this movement until now, what is the progress that you've
Yes.
seen? Have you witnessed any palpable changes?
Yes, now people are coming, people are understanding it. Like last year, I did the Pune Transgender Marathon, and I 100 transgenders to participate in marathon. तो मैं हमेशा ये सोचती हूँ ठीक है मतलब मैं पास तो होंगी या फेल तो होगी पर एग्जाम तो देना चाहिए ना
Hmm.
मुझे पहले बहुत डर लगता था कि हम लोग जाएंगे तो लोग हमारा मजाक बनाएंगे
Hmm.
but unfortunately, like it happened a positive thing for me. 4,000 people supported transgender people in that marathon, and it was a big for the entire society. Like yes, like we can come out of the closet, and yes, we exist. We
Hmm.
can show to the people. It was a very
Absolutely.
big change for. Like now, I'm getting that love. I'm going to the schools, colleges, giving the lectures on gender diversity and
Hmm.
about gender sensitization एंड मैं जब घर पे आके मेरे पेरेंट्स को पूछी ये सब मेरे बचपन में क्यों नहीं था अगर
Hmm.
ये सब होता तो मैं कितने फ्रीडम के साथ मैं जी सकती थी और यू नो
Absolutely.
सो I can see from the people
Hmm. Hmm.
acceptance is coming a lot.
तो ये थॉट कैसे आया वो कैसे आपने सोचा कि चलो आई स्टार्ट अ मैराथन फॉर द ट्रांसजेंडर कम्युनिटी.
तो एक बात बोलती है अदिति जो जो चीजें मुझे नहीं मिली ना वो मैं हर मेरे बच्चों को मेरे ट्रांस ब्रदर्स और सिस्टर को हर चीजें दूंगी मैं
हाउ
आई
स्वीट.
डोंट विश to build a huge empire for my community, but before I die, I will put brick from my side. ये हमेशा होना चाहिए, तो
Amen to that.
जो जो मुझे so proud, like so many transgenders run 20 kilometers, 15 kilometers,
Hmm.
and yes, हम लोग भी कर सकते हैं, पर हमें कोई मौका ही नहीं देता है. So if we get a platform, if we get a chance, even we can do many things apart from the community culture and everything. We can do.
Hmm. Okay. So, but how did you thought of marathon? What made you, what clicked?
So, like from my childhood, like I was working in an NGO as a volunteer, and I used to guide all this, the transgenders were infected by HIV, AIDS, and all. Many a times I faced the stigma and discrimination from doctor itself. Doctors
Hmm.
don't even touch to the transgenders. Many
Hmm.
a times doctor get confused where to keep a transgender in the male ward or a female ward.
Hmm.
तो ये सब तो मैंने सोचा कि नहीं अगर बात हेल्थ का है अगर हेल्थ इश्यूज का है तो हम लोग क्यों नहीं हम भी इंसान हैं तो हमें ये
Correct.
सब चीजें चाहिए जो राइट्स मेल फीमेल्स को वही सेम राइट्स मुझे भी चाहिए और हर जगह चाहिए इन
Hmm.
स्कूल कॉलेजेस वर्किंग प्लेस एंड इन जिम फिटनेस एवरीथिंग एक्चुअली
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So, Priya, how do you think corporates can work towards eradicating this big stigma that the transgender community faces and create an inclusive culture? And when I'm asking about corporates, I mean all of them, not only SR, because SR has already taken this initiative
Yeah.
ahead, and they are
Yeah.
being inclusive.
Yeah, and Aditi, it goes back to the first point that I spoke about the fact, you know, uh, it's also for organizations and corporates. It's also a business proposition. Okay,
Hmm.
just look at part of the society. They're an integral part of the society. They
Yeah.
are your customers. Your they are the ones who are advocates in some sense of your brand. Okay, out there. So you can't exclude them,
Hmm.
right? So forget about the fact that you look at it in a different context of trying to say that they've been oppressed, they've been suppressed, and you want to do something about it to make sure they have their space in the society. But at the fact of the matter is that being part of an integral part of the society, you need to reach out to them. So I guess corporates need to make sure that it's part of their agenda at the very macro level, at the leadership level. It has to be driven at that level to say that irrespective, just like how you look at your people agenda and your business agenda, as part of the people agenda, this should be a priority, a key priority to make sure that they're included, to make sure that all resources that are required are actually kind of given to ensure that the change can happen, the transformation can happen. Like I said earlier on, all of the partnerships that you want to do, whether it's with foundations or people like Sonali and all of that, you take that and bring it to fruition. Yeah, right. Um, and I said, I think even at colleges, and when we go for campus recruitments, really, we don't see any of this bit at all when we are interviewing, and it's not spoken about. Even in your MBA institutes, I'm not too sure, and I'm sure that there might be people who are transgenders but are really not wanting to come out of the closet, right? So it's really starting at that level to make sure that your future employees are
Yeah.
also people who are youngsters who are comfortable in their skin, comfortable in who they are, right?
Hmm.
And helping that at a very young age.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, these are some of the things that the corporates can really do to bring about change and being responsible, the responsible part of the society.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, as you had rightly said earlier, that this education ideally should start in schools. The younger people, the younger generation should be educated, because it's not right now, it is not in our existence. So I think we
Yes.
need to start doing this even earlier. But yes, of course, currently, given the situation, the corporates need to start taking these steps
Right.
toward getting the
Right.
transgender community, to work with them equally.
Yeah.
So finally, now coming to the current situation of this pandemic, how has that
Yeah.
impacted the transgender community and their livelihood?
So, so from March month, this lockdown started, and many transgenders they are into many
Aditi, are you
sex
able
work.
to hear Sonali clearly? Is there a
Yes,
way that you can probably
I,
put your mic closer or something?
I can hear her, but it's not as loud as us.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I was
Sonali.
just wondering.
Yeah.
So many transgenders are denied with the basic rights, like many are into begging, sex work, and they don't get a family support. They don't have even their own house. They stay on rent, and the income source of bread and butter have literally stopped. So from March, April, May, June month, I provide them ration, grocery by help of. I used to go for many women empowerment programs, and I have had good contacts with many women NGO, and
Hmm.
many women came forward to help me. And from that month, I started giving them grocery ration, and also medicines also for old age transgenders, those who are above 60, like they are
Hmm.
facing blood pressure, diabetes, and many of them are infected by HIV/AIDS. So to provide them ART tablets, I started helping them.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
but about next step, like how many days we are going to do this? One day we have to stand on our own feet. तो हमें
Absolutely.
कुछ ना कुछ तो शुरुआत करनी चाहिए घर से ही. हम कितने साल सेक्स वर्क और बेगिंग करेंगे? अगर
Yeah.
आगे जाके कोई बड़ा पैंडेमिक में सिचुएशन आ गया, 1 साल का
Hmm.
लॉकडाउन या 6 महीने का, तो हम
Hmm.
क्या फेस करेंगे?
Yeah.
तो
इसलिए मैंने
तो
सोचा कि मतलब,
hmm.
हाँ,
नहीं तो
तो
ये
मैंने
मतलब,
सोचा कि
सॉरी, गो अहेड.
हाँ, हाँ, अभी एजुकेशन का बात है, तो एजुकेशन हम लोग सब इवन आर नॉट privileged to get education by online or mobile, or it's so expensive also. तो मैंने सोचा अगर ट्रांस 5 बच्चों को लेके अगर हम ट्यूशन भी स्टार्ट करेंगे, बच्चों में भी अवेयरनेस आएगा, ठीक है हमारी मैम एक ट्रांसजेंडर थी और हमें भी एजुकेशन देने का मौका मिलेगा, एंड देयर विल बी अ मोर अवेयरनेस इन सोसाइटी, यू नो।
तो ऐसे और कोई कोलैबोरेशन किए हैं कम्युनिटी के साथ, एनजीओ के साथ, टू क्रिएट दिस सेल्फ रिलायंस? जैसे आपने कहा कि ट्यूशन एक है, तो ऐसे कोई और इनिशिएटिव्स आपने शुरू किए हैं विद अदर एनजीओज, कॉर्पोरेट्स?
यस, तो हमारे यहाँ पे जो गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल है, अभी सब महाराष्ट्र हो या बहुत सारे ऐसे स्टेट्स हैं जहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में मैंने बहुत बार लेटर भेजा था कि हमें ट्रांसजेंडर्स के लिए 10 बेड का ओपीडी चाहिए, बिकॉज मेनी अ टाइम्स डॉक्टर के इनको कहाँ पे रखे, मेल वार्ड में या फीमेल वार्ड में, तो हमें 10 बेड्स का ओपीडी मिल गया, तो हम लोग एटलीस्ट ट्रांसजेंडर्स को नर्सिंग का कोर्स देके हम लोग एटलीस्ट हमारे लोगों का ख्याल तो रख सकते हैं, and they can have a respectable job like a normal woman in the society, which is always my dream कि हाँ ये ऐसा होना चाहिए। अगर हमें चेंजेस लाना, अगर गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में स्टार्ट किया, बिकॉज आई हैव द सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट ऑफ 2000, we have the Nalsa judgment. According to Nalsa judgment and according to Supreme Court judgment, uh, we should have a separate OPD for transgenders. We should have a toilets for transgender in school, colleges, in public place, in working place. But अभी तक कुछ हुआ नहीं है। Let's see, अभी transgender कोड बन गया है, तो अभी बहुत सारी सुविधाएं हमें मिलेंगी उसके द्वारा।
ओके ओके। तो आपको क्या लगता है कि ये जो एसआर फाउंडेशन का ट्रांस स्कूल है, जो ट्रांसजेंडर कम्युनिटी अपलिफ्टमेंट के लिए बनाया गया है, तो इन ऐसे जो इनिशिएटिव्स है वो हेल्पफुल होंगे?
That will be very helpful. अगर हम लोग, I will tell you, like अगर हम लोग 5 लोग भी शुरुआत किया ना, तो मतलब 5 को देख के और बस आएंगे कि मतलब वो होता है ना कि अगर तू कर सकती तो मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकती। So it should be in the beginning, even if a friend transgender started working, फिर एक को देख के दूसरा भी सीख जाता है, नहीं मैं भी कर सकती हूँ, even I can be a normal woman in the society. So change cannot be overnight. It will take a time, but it will come. Definitely it will come.
So what is it that you would like the trans school to incorporate? आपका क्या, अगर if one has to ask you?
So like same as equal as normal women's want, like जो भी rights है तो हमें वही rights चाहिए। पहले स्टार्ट हम बच्चों को से, अगर मैं फ्लाइट में भी जाती हूँ तो ऑलवेज अनाउंसमेंट होता है लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स, तो हम कहाँ जाते हैं? ये होता है क्योंकि हम दिखाई नहीं देते कि मैं कहाँ हूँ, एंड नोवेयर। एंड इवन इन स्कूल्स ऑल्सो फ्रॉम द चाइल्डहुड हमें यही सिखाया जाता है, बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स, एंड व्हाट अबाउट ट्रांस? इसको पता ही नहीं चलता। We are living in such a society where we don't talk about sexual orientation, about gender equality. So हमें बचपन से हम लोग बच्चों को सिखाएंगे कि ऐसा होता है वैसा होता है, तो उनके लिए बहुत आसान होगा to coming out to the parents.
So Priya, what are your thoughts? Sorry?
Yeah, मैं सोच रही हूँ पेरेंट्स एक्सेप्टेंस होगा तो हम लोग पूरी लड़ाई हम आसानी से जीत सकते हैं।
फिर लड़ाई होगी नहीं, अल्टीमेटली लड़ाई होगी नहीं, हम सब एक ही फैब्रिक हो जाएंगे सोसाइटी के, एंड आई थिंक दैट इज द अल्टीमेट गोल, राइट सोनाली?
Like heterosexual society and homosexual society, so सिर्फ सेक्शन 377 डिक्रिमिनलाइज हो जाने की वजह से सब चेंजेस नहीं हो गया। देयर आर मेनी राइट्स लाइक सेम सेक्स मैरिज, प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स, child adoption, surrogacy option. There are many things. It's a long way to go. It's not just about section 377. So
true.
We want that.
Absolutely.
मैं चाहती हूँ कि एसआर फाउंडेशन की तरफ से हम एक एलजीबीटीक्यू कम्युनिटी का एक पेरेंट्स ग्रुप बनाएं, ताकि बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स के उनका बच्चा ऐसा होता है, हम हमारे बच्चों को क्यों नहीं एक्सेप्ट कर सकते? Acceptance is the most important thing which I feel.
Acceptance, yes, absolutely. Priya, what are your thoughts on what Sonali just shared for the trans school going ahead?
Sure. So I think before I get particularly talk about the trans, I think as like I mentioned, the Rainbow Project, the objective of Rainbow Project is multifold, right? One is the whole acceptance factor. One is the whole awareness creation. One is whole how do you make them more integral to the larger mainstream society. So that's the larger objective, and one of the key initiatives is the trans. And the focus of the trans school is that, how do you equip them with the right skills so that they have the right set of competencies, the right, knowledge to be able to go into mainstream, right? So you want to make sure that you open doors for them, you create opportunities where, the training actually translates into a job where, they live a dignified life, they're earning, they're financially independent. So particularly in the trans school, and the focus is about skilling, upskilling.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think, absolutely in terms of what Sonali is saying, with helping them in terms of creating the awareness, that's part of the larger agenda that we have in place. So it really fits in well in terms of what the expectations are. And I think the programs are really directed towards, it's many-fold actually. So it's it's directed towards awareness, it's directed toward skilling, it's directed toward opportunities for the, jobs and growth. So that's where it stands. And I think I would like to take this opportunity and really, request Sonali to say that, we want your help. We want your help to bring in more participation into the programs, to really spread this across. Right? It's people like you who are influencers can bring about that change and support us in our effort. I know the efforts that you are making is incredible. It's huge, and what efforts that you're making really looks small in front of that. But I really kind of want to request you, saying that, we look forward to your support to ensure that you spread the word about the trans school that SR Foundation is running among your own communities, so that we have more participation of people, and they can leverage the opportunity that, we are providing, to really create stories of independence, self righteousness, and being financially independent. So I think I really would take this opportunity to kind of reach out to you on this platform.
Yeah, Sonali. So I would second that completely. I would want, of course, your help in, taking this trans school to the next level, because we are really looking at inclusiveness, integrating the transgender community, and actually making them self-reliant. So the whole purpose of this trans school is to upskill or even skill the community, and then prepare them so that they can take up the job of their liking. So considering all that you've done, what are your thoughts on this trans school once again?
If my community is getting the rights, equal rights to everything, I'm always open and always love to work for my community, which is always my dream. मैं उनको mainstream लाने के लिए हर रोज मैं try करती हूँ कि कैसे मैं उस पूरी community को mainstream में लाके एक normal life में उनको दे सकती हूँ, And I will always stand with SRS Foundation for the initiative for the skill development. Definitely, we will change the idea of people. जो नजरिया होता है उसका देखने का वही माइंडसेट चेंज करना चाहिए.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Sachin Avasthi is saying that trans community is good in many skills: makeup, dance, cooking, art, handicraft, etc. If they are given professional support, they will become business women. So we are definitely looking at that, Sachin.
Yeah.
We plan entrepreneurship as well, so that it can completely fit into what we are trying to say. There was also another comment which said that it's very important if all transgenders will start a campaign about quit smoking and chewing tobacco. It will be great achievement and message for Hindustanis in this COVID time. This can be implemented quickly than any other time. So that's one comment that we got from LinkedIn. So Sonali and Priya, thank you so much for coming on this talk, which is for SR Trans School. It's a rainbow project being part of the SR Foundation. What is that one message that you would like to give? Priya first and then Sonali.
I think for all the viewers out there, I guess change can be brought in a big way if we take those small steps, whether it's in your own homes, with your own children, with your colleagues. Be open-minded and give the love and the acceptance that they deserve. And I think we are going to be a better society as a whole with that.
Rightly said. Thank you, Priya. Sonali, आपका एक लास्ट मैसेज क्या है सबके लिए?
तो ये मैं हमेशा कि प्यार के आगे कुछ नहीं होता है। सो आई विल से लाइक लव फॉर ऑल एंड ऑल फॉर लव। यू नो प्यार मुझे मेरे मम्मी पापा के पास से चाहिए, मुझे फैमिली की से फ्रेंड्स के फ्रेंड्स का प्यार चाहिए, सोसाइटी का प्यार चाहिए। सो द लव एंड एक्सेप्टेंस आई ऑलवेज वांट फ्रॉम पीपल फॉर मी एंड as well as for my entire LGBTQ community. You know, so love them and accept them as they are. Just be yourself. Just be feel comfortable in your own skin. And you don't need to change for someone. You just be yourself. That's it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, love and acceptance is all that is needed for all living beings. And just reach out. I mean, you just accept the person the way he or she is, and that's how we move forward towards creating a better society. Thank you so much, Sonali. Thank you, Priya, for your valuable time. We will see you again next week, same time.
Thanks,
Thank
thanks, Aditi. Thanks,
you.
Sonali.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.